Alright, so this is how I got the platinum for Fallout 76. I'm going to tell you my experience and some of the tips and tricks that I did to get it, because I managed to do it in 65 hours. I know, sounds crazy because it's a super grindy game, being an online service game, but I think with my tips, I can help you guys get it in potentially less than 65 hours from my learning. So I'm going to just tell you my experience first. The game, as we've talked about when I've reviewed it in the past, it's a strange game. It's like an online co-op game, except the game doesn't really lend itself very well to co-op. In an interesting turn of events, you can't actually play the game properly with other people, or the main story at least. So this is where I made my first mistake. So we booted up the game, me and the serious co-op partner. We had to do the beginning of the game by ourselves, so we made our character. And then when we got to the real world together, we're like, hooray, we're in the real world together. Let's go do the first mission. And off we trotted to the first mission, like happy little campers. And as soon as we got to the door, it was like, boop, boop. Enter solo, boop, boop, enter as a team. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? So we entered as a team, and what we discovered is there are certain missions in the story that only one person can progress and the other person cannot. So if you want to do the whole game together properly, you will have to play some of these missions twice. So when I did it, I was kind of like helping the mysterious co-op partner get their mission done, but I still had to do the mission because I couldn't talk to any of the people, because in the new update they added like actual humans, but I couldn't really participate in the conversation. I couldn't really see what was happening. I just had to watch it play out. So that was like... So then I tried to play some of it myself, and I was kind of like, I just wasn't vibing with it. It was really difficult. I was just getting killed all the time. I just felt like the game was just destroying me, even though I was trying to follow the path of the main story. And I think that is where the problem lies. That this is not how you play Fallout 76. If you're in it purely for the platinum, the real game starts at level 50, I was told. And I did discover when I hit the faithful level 50, it was like the whole game changed. In fact, I was actually able to play it. I wasn't just a little squishy piece of rubbish now, wandering, blowing around the wasteland like a twig ready to be smashed at any moment. So that was my experience. Once I then decided to myself, I don't like this game. I'm here for the plat. The actual enjoyment of the game changed, because now, as a trophy hunter, so I know people thinking like, oh, why did you do it, blah, blah, blah. But actually, I found enjoyment out of trying to get the platinum, which I guess some of you may know. So we started to come up with a plan. What's the most efficient way to do it? How can we knock out these trophies? How can we make the grind better? And we came with this whole thing. Let me show you the action plan. And here we go. So this was the Fallout 76 plan that we came up with together in order to make this and as you see, some of this didn't quite go to plan. We changed things along the way. So we had the roadmap task, we had the description, and we had the status. So let me also get my notes up. So I sort of followed this, and as you can see, we went for ongoing, and clicked done on some of them, and these were like all the trophies that I had missing. And once we started doing this, things became much smoother. So this may not be relevant to you, all of this stuff. This was kind of more like relevant to the build that we were trying to create. Because the first thing is, I'm not very good at building characters. It's just one of the things I'm just not good at in video games, whereas some people got a real like knack for it. So the mysterious co-op partner was like, okay, we need to build your character in a certain way. In fact, we didn't actually do this build in the end. We need to find these terminals, we need to find this and finish these missions, hit this, and then once we get to this, we did that, and then we got the plat. So that was how we did the plan, and we've had great enjoyment trying to sort that out. So I'm now going to give you my top tips. So here are my top tips to platinum Fallout 76 in 76 hours or less. In fact, the mysterious co-op partner thinks that we could do it in 50. Right, tip number one. Play with a partner/friend. Not only will this help you from the infinite boredom and frustration that this game will give by having someone to talk to, it's also very helpful for other things, because firstly, you should be always playing in a team for XP boosting. If you're in a team, you start bonding. Now it's funny because it's the only game that where you don't really actually play with other people, but you form this team. I guess it's like being in a family. You're always united and bonded together through this strange familial, pomp and circumstance. But when you're actually together, you're bonding. You're all building the bonding points. The more bonding points you have, the more XP you get. The more people you have in your team, which I think is like 4, you get even more. Now you should be in a casual team as well, because the casual team will also give you more points. The other thing to look for in a mysterious co-op partner, this is how you find your mysterious co-op partner, it's now dating advice. You also want them to be experienced. Because it helps. So as you know the story. The mysterious co-op partner went off and cheated on me with some other woman. disaster, but actually it came around in my favor because when we patched things up, the mysterious co-op partner was way ahead in the game. So what they did me a solid. They were like, look, Lucy, I can fast travel you to the locations on the map that you need to go to so you don't have to walk there. That saved a ton of time. So every time I had a mission, I was like, I need to go to this place. They would fast travel there. Then I would fast travel to them, which was free. So I wasn't spending caps. And then also shortening the space of the journey. Also, what made it helpful, actually, the mysterious co-op partner also played this game on Xbox. I don't know why did they do that? They got these achievements and then they also did it again on PlayStation. Weird. So they knew the game very well. So we would fast travel to the place. I would do the mission. They would know how the mission played out. So they would also help me be like, oh, I think you need to go this way and that way. So that helped cut down time. The other thing as well, you might need your co-op partner to also help you with some of the PvP trophies. There's not many of them. There's only a few to like revive people, down people. There's like 3 in total. Simple, easy. So that is my tip number 1. Tip number 2 is the longest part is going to be that grind to 100. Now it's not as bad. Old Lucy's done the grind a few times. Let me tell you, I've been around that grind block. Some of them are good, some of them bad. This one, mediocre. I've done much worse grinds than this. Obviously helpful for the fact that you do get XP. If you're doing these tips, you will get XP more, but I can tell you grinds where it felt much longer than this. So we ended up building my character around intelligence. We bumped up my intelligence to 15 because you get more XP for having a better brain. You're absorbing more of the information, I guess, in the game. So do that. That'll help you get more XP to get to level 100 faster. Tip number 3, I also rolled that into the playing as a team. That was my tip number 3, sorry. Tip number 4, missions to look out for. Okay, we're still on the XP grind here, so there are certain missions that are going to give you more or less XP than others. So I'm going to shout out the ones that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to do one called Test Your Metal. That one's really good because you have to fight a bunch of robots. These will give you big XP, especially if you're in a team. Moonshine Jamboree, A Colossal Problem, Scorched Earth, and the one with the massive mole, which I can't remember what it is. So all of those, if they pop up on the map and there seems to be people, and a lot of people will join because a lot of people quite high know what they're doing, you get in there. Now here's the real tip. The tip is just put a shot in every enemy you can see. You don't need to kill the enemy, just get a shot on it and you will get points for the kill. You will get XP points. So I would like turn up to these things and be the worst person ever because I would just go around being like, get a shot on the thing, get a shot on every sort of enemy I could find possible because you've got to stack them points. So yeah, don't worry about killing, just get those XP points. Tip number 5 is do the loop. Do the loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool. Now this will help you with getting these collectibles and sort of like this is what I did. I did this ritual, the loop, in order to get my collectibles and to get my XP going as well. So I would always start or end every session going to sleep, so I was well rested, so that when you're well rested you get more XP points, all about those XP points. You would then play an instrument to be well tuned because that would also get you points, and then you're ready to start your Fallout day. You also have to go to the White Springs and sort out your admin bullshit. After you've done those things, I would then go around to certain points on the map to do the loop to see what I could find, because in the game collectibles kind of spawn at random. So you're looking for bobbleheads, you're looking for magazines. A magazine? What happened? You're looking for terminals and you're looking for lockpicks. I think those were the 4 that you need to do. So there are certain places that I would go to every day on my loop. Now you can find these like around the world, anywhere pretty much, but you would go to known places. So for me, I would wake up in the morning and I would go to Camden Park. Camden Park had 2 locks potentially. There was a potential for a bobblehead to pop. There was a potential for a magazine to pop. So you would go there, look for that. Anything there? Nope. Move on to the next one. I would go to the lighthouse. That also had a terminal there, a safe, and a potential for a bobblehead. Now not all of these come all the time. And then you would go to the teapot, which could also spawn a bobblehead and a magazine. I would then go to the treatment plant for the hacking. The hacking terminal one is the one that's going to take you the longest, because if a terminal has been hacked in the world, if any of these collectibles have already been picked up in the world, you ain't getting them. So go around to get your loop to check, and then if you do that every day, you will slowly build. And that's what I literally did every morning. I would just do my loop, and then eventually it built up. A good place to also get a good lockpick and a cheeky terminal is go to the White Springs Mall, and you can go to the general manager's office. And I was always unlocking the general manager's door and getting into his computer. And he must have been like, Janice, why does someone keep opening my door and finding all my emails? I told you, Benny, you gotta make sure you get a bit of password. But how do they do it all the time? Have you used special characters? Well, I always do. Have you used a capital letter? Is it 12 characters long? I would be in there all day looking at his emails. Okay, number 6. tips. When you're on the collectibles loop, put the collectibles card on. There's like a special card that you can get, and it will make a sound when you are near bobbleheads and make a sound when you are near magazines, because they're kind of hard to see. So that will help direct you in the right place. Tip number 7. If you have done all of these, there's nothing else going on. You log onto the game, you've done your loop, nothing good is popping in the experience. You know, you've done what you can, or your co-op partner's not there. You can get a few things for quick XP. So I would do a White Springs Ghoul run. So that would also be part of my loop. So once I'd finished doing all my admin for the day, and I had nothing else I wanted to do, I would head over to the White Springs Golf Club, and I would go and clear out all the ghouls in that place. There's like a bunch of ghouls. You can also find a magazine there. Or 2, I think there's 2 sometimes I'd spawn. I'd go there, clear them out, good XP for killing things, and then then I'd be done. You can do a daily ops too. Daily ops would also be very good. So those are my tips for getting the plat efficiently, effectively. I'd say don't bother about the story until you get a higher level. Like, the story literally means nothing to the game. Like, you don't have to do it when you're, you know, fresh and, you know, bushy, bright-eyed and tailed out of the vault. You can just come back and do it when you're more well-equipped to take on the enemies. And then obviously use the fast travel and have someone that knows what the fuck's going on, because a lot of the time I was like, the overseer was just like, I remember when there were ice cream trucks, wah, 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 don't launch a nuke. Lady, I've seen nukes launched all over the place. Don't tell me what I can't do. Finally, for those of you who have asked about the DLC, the mysterious co-op partner is trying to work on the DLC. I have declined to get airborne anymore and go to the fucking pit. They have said it's not worth it. If you want 100%, it is super grindy getting the 100% on the DLC. And it's mainly because of the pit, where you have to collect these stamps in order to get an axe to kill all these trogs. And apparently he's gonna have to get airborne like 80 more times. And is it really worth it? I don't think so. I think they have a problem, and they may need to go and seek help to stop going to the pit. But yeah, it feels like it's just extra game for extra. If you like the game, by all means, go on and your merry way and get the 100%. But I think I shall be parting ways with Fallout 76. I got my plat. I thought it was an interesting experience to be part of this live service game, to see what it was all about. Whilst, you know, I didn't enjoy the game, I did enjoy the thrill of the plat. And I suppose that's what, at the core, is what trophy hunting is about sometimes. Like, I know I moaned about it, I know I bitched about how the game was structured and whatever, but I did actually get a real sense of satisfaction having my list and putting it together. I did really enjoy putting my plan together and seeing it through and seeing progress happen and ticking it off the list and being like, yes! So there we go. Those are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tips for platinuming Fallout 76. Hopefully anybody out there found that useful to your experience. And let me know how long it takes you and if you plan on getting the plat at all.
There's no such thing as too many pumpkins. Oh, is it happening? Oh, ground zero! Oh, I got it. Do we all get it?